Hello, this is Mel Thompson, and this is a podcast in a series of podcasts about political risk. Today I'll be discussing Brazil, the tension in Brazil between the executive and judicial branches. Once a politically connected person is somehow involved in a judicial investigation, it would not be prudent to place that person into the spotlight further. Yes, this is exactly what the Brazilian president, Michel Temer, has done when he moved the infrastructure investment secretary, Wellington Moreira Franco, to the cabinet. Such a move shields Franco from prosecution in all tribunals except for the Supreme Court. Now, this would not be a big deal, except Franco has been named in testimony that has linked him to the corruption scandal engulfing Petrobras, which is the state-owned oil company. Now, as in a previous situation, the court has blocked the effort of President Temer to move a political ally into the cabinet, citing the testimony in a plea bargain as proof of that move being designed to shield Franco. Federal Judge Regina Coeli Formoso blocked the promotion. This executive versus the judiciary back and forth raises a multitude of political risks for foreign direct investors conducting or seeking to conduct business in Brazil. First, the very genesis of the problem is in the state-owned oil company Petrobras. So any FDI and ancillary projects may be at risk of expropriation. In other words, if you're trying to build anything or invest in anything on the outside that has any type of business coming to it from Petrobras, you may be giving up a lot if this thing decides to go more along the lines of a populist movement. In other words, if President Temer decides one day he's got a lot of political problems and the best way to save himself, because of all the scandals, is to become a populist all of a sudden and start expropriating land around the Petrobras territory, wherever it may be in the country, at all locations, then you're going to be losing. Is this something that's on the horizon? No, but is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. The second issue here is that there is no bilateral investment treaty with Brazil. So it is insurance and contracts that are your basis for protection. Finally, the struggle between these two branches of government could go deeper than just Franco. We have no idea where this is going. The court will not be intimidated, obviously, and President Temer has every reason to be concerned that there may be another issue tied to Petrobras that could implicate yet another close ally. Now, if that's true, we're going to see more and more of this in the future. And when you look at politically connected people who are being investigated, at one point or another, one shoe drops, another shoe drops, so on and so forth. The next shoe that drops off Temer's foot could be connected to his leg. And you don't want to be in a situation where, in order to get that leg reattached, he decides to take your property. This is not a fantasy. It has happened many times in the past in many other places in the world. When political problems are present, even in democracies, you will see a move towards populism to save political careers. And it is not illegal. Expropriation is not illegal. Not giving fair value is illegal in a timely manner. And if there is a situation that becomes one of litigation, one where the contracts involved do not have clauses that can actually put this thing into court and your property is expropriated, then you're going to have a problem. You may eventually get what you deserve, but it's going to take time. You're going to lose out. And it is something you need to be cognizant of and aware of. I'm not saying it's going to happen today, tomorrow. It probably will never happen. But the bottom line is that when you have tensions between the executive branch and the judiciary in a country like Brazil, with the problems they have right now with a state-owned oil company, and this is an oil company that is such a lucrative part of the economy in that nation, that anybody connected to it, even ancillary, if you're selling candy bars to all the workers there at all their locations, then you're connected to it. If your candy bars are lucrative business for you, and all of a sudden it's in their best interest to take the candy bar stand because it's a populist move and it makes President Temer look good and takes all the tension off the investigation, then I bet he'll do it. But until it gets hotter and it becomes much more intense there, I wouldn't be concerned. But be aware, there is no bilateral investment treaty in Brazil between it and the United States, and therefore it comes down to insurance and contracts, and the contracts better be drawn up properly or you're going to have a problem. And even if they are drawn up properly, you're still going to have some degree of problem if there's an expropriation. This has been Mel Thompson.